help them, I want you to promise me to survive, to take this message for our country.
Yo, what's up you guys? Welcome to another video. I thought I'd just do this quick video because I'm bored and it is very late at night and none of my friends are online, so I'm just gonna make a Dark Souls 3 boss tier list. So starting with the first boss, we have the Abyss Watchers. And you know, the Abyss Watchers, it's a pretty fun boss fight. I'd say it's very enjoyable. The run there is very annoying though, with all of the dark magic boys that look like Skeletor from He-Man. Yeah, it's a little annoying trying to get to the Abyss Watcher boss battle, but it's a pretty fun boss fight, so I'm going to put it in C tier. On the next boss, we have Aldrich. Now, Aldrich is the boss in the old Ornstein and Smo arena. And I think Aldrich is an alright boss battle. It's one of the Lords of Cinder, or whatever they're called. It was never really like that hard of a boss battle. It's a little bit fun, kind of annoying running from her arrow shots, but I think I'll also put Aldrich in the C tier. Oh boy, the next one, the Ancient Wyvern. Now, if you played Dark Souls 3, this boss is hands down probably one of the most disappointing bosses in the entire Souls series, simply for the fact that you literally don't even have to fight him. So this boss is going into the F tier. I'm actually going to get rid of this Guff tier. Yeah, Ancient Wyvern, definitely an F tier boss. Looks really cool, looks badass, but really you just jump on his head and stab him and he's insta dead. So next we have the Champion Gravetender. Okay, I actually haven't played Ashes of Ariandel in a very long time, so I actually had to look up this boss because I completely forgot it existed. And now that I'm thinking about it, this is like one of the most annoying fucking bosses in Dark Souls 3. Like, Jesus Christ, I hated fighting this thing. Oh my god, I'm pretty sure if my memory serves me correctly, this is one of the most annoying bosses to run back to in the game. F tier boss, just for that. I hate that boss. Anyways, next we have Champion Gundyr, and this boss is actually extremely difficult. This guy is a pain in the ass. Unlike his counterpart, Udex Gundyr, the very first boss in the game, Champion Gundyr is extremely difficult, and he gives you pretty much no room to breathe whatsoever throughout the boss battle. And I think that's what makes him so difficult, because his moves aren't like super hard to dodge, but man, is he relentless. But it is a very fun boss fight, and I'm going to put it in B tier for that. So next boss in the list is the Crystal Sage, and Crystal Sage is kind of a little bit of a forgettable boss battle. It's very easy and kind of becomes like a mini boss later in the game. So Crystal Sage goes in D tier because Crystal Sage, kind of forgettable, easy boss fight, but you know, she's kind of just there. Dancer of the Boreal Valley. The Dancer is a boss fight that is actually quite fun, and if you're really good at the game, you can actually fight her. I think it's maybe right either before or after you fight Vort. I don't really remember, but the Dancer of the Boreal Valley is a pretty fun boss battle. Her moves are not super difficult to dodge, and it's pretty good boss battle. I don't really have much to say about this one, but yeah, the fact that you can do it early is pretty cool, and that's why I'm going to put that in B tier. Now the Deacons of the Deep, the Popes, the child molesters of Dark Souls. These boys, They are one of the worst boss battles in the Soul series, I think. Okay, that's a little bit of a stretch. Actually, no, it's not. The Deacons of the Deep are shit. I hate fighting these guys. It's not even like hard. It's honestly one of the easier battles in this game. But like the fact that they just are so annoying, like it's just a horde of enemies, like is really just an annoyance to fight them. Why? Lazy ass boss battle going into the F tier. The next boss battle we have would be the old Demon King, and honestly, pretty forgettable boss fight. Just an average big demon boy, and he's actually an optional boss fight, so you don't actually even have to fight him. It's kind of hidden, as a matter of fact. So, you know, most people playing through Dark Souls 3 for the first time probably won't even fight this guy, but, you know, he's pretty forgettable. Not too much to say about him. Put him in D tier. Now, the next boss on the list would be the Dragon Prince, and honestly, the Dragon Prince, it's a Ringed City boss battle, and you know, it's kind of a fun fight. You drop down in this giant pit, and then there's the Dragon Prince, and then, oh my bad, it's actually the Demon Prince. There's the Demon Prince, and then like the Demon King or something. There's two of them. They're both gangbanging you, and it's a very challenging boss battle, but that makes it fun. I think the more challenging battles can be pretty fun, and they have multiple stages. They each go like Super Saiyan, like once you get their health halfway down. So, you know, I'm really gonna have to put these guys in B tier because, you know, it's a fun boss battle, challenging. It's not like too challenging though. It's not very cheap either. So yeah, B tier for the Demon Prince. Now the next boss we have would be the Dragon Slayer armor, and this guy's pretty cool. Alright, he reminds me of Ornstein from Dark Souls, and this battle, honestly, I think it's one of the best boss battles in this game. Now, that may be controversial, but I think this guy is extremely fun to play against, and he isn't too difficult to where you have to try like 40,000 times just to beat him. And, you know, it's a pretty epic battle. I like the little sun ray things. I don't even know what the hell those are, but these things right here, the little circles, I like those things, how it incorporates into the boss battle. And yeah, I mean, it's a pretty cool dude. Chill, man. Put him in A tier. Sister Friede, however you pronounce that. This is another Ashes of Ariandel boss battle, and honestly, that whole DLC kind of just gave me an aneurysm. But Sister Friede, however the hell you pronounce that, not very good, I don't think. I don't really remember this boss battle too much, because I've only played Ashes of Ariandel once, so I'm going to put her in D tier simply because I just really don't know much about that fight. Curse-rotted Greatwood. This boy right here, the big tree boy, the magic tree house. This dude is another optional boss battle in the game, and I think most players playing through the game the first time won't even realize that this boss is optional. But yeah, you only need to defeat this boss if... Actually, I don't even remember the reason. I'm pretty sure if he falls down, he kills the guy that gives you one of the guilds, and so you won't have access to that guild anymore in this run. So it's honestly kind of recommended to not fight him because he doesn't really give you much. The only reason you would fight him is if you don't care about that guild and you just want the souls. It's kind of fun to play against. I don't know. I kind of like the Curse-rotted Greatwood, so I think I'm going to put him in C tier. I don't think he's a horrible boss fight. Oh, the Half-Light Spear of the Church. Now this boss fight is actually very cool in my opinion, because you fight the boss and then you have to actually fight another player in the game, or if you're offline you just fight NPC that kind of serves in the position of that player. But it's a pretty cool boss fight, a very cool concept for the game, something refreshing, basically a PvP boss fight. Put him in A tier. It's a really interesting, refreshing idea, and I think it deserves to be an A tier. Okay, moving on, we have Udex Gundyr, the boy I made a video on how to defeat him, and specifically made that video because he's kind of like one of the easiest bosses in the game. In my personal opinion, it's easier than the Deacons of the Deep and any other boss in this game. It doesn't really even matter what starting class you choose. Obviously, he's not going to be too difficult because he's the first boss and they actually want players to get past him. You know, Udex Gundyr, he's pretty fun, I guess. If you don't know how to fight him, he can be challenging. But honestly, super easy. You just like swerve around to the right of him and like he basically can't even hit you. You keep your shield up. It's like super easy. So Udex Gundyr definitely going in C tier for me. Okay guys, the next boss is the hardest boss maybe in any Souls game ever. Jesus Christ. Dark Eater Madeir is such a pain in the ass to fight. Now, this is an optional Ringed City boss fight. And the first time I played through Ringed City, I didn't even know it was a thing. This dude is so difficult. Like, he has so much health, and he just claps your cheeks. Like, I never soloed this boss fight. I've only played him with some jolly cooperation with my fellow teammates, because he's that much of a pain in the ass, and I really don't feel like dealing with that. And for that, honestly, he's going in B tier because he's a pain in the ass, but it's a really cool boss fight anyways. So yeah, I really didn't add much substance to that, but it is what it is. I didn't really fight him that much because he's that much of a dick. Anyways, the Nameless King. Now, the Nameless King is actually the hardest non-DLC Dark Souls boss fight, and he's going in A tier as well. And my reasoning for this is because the fight is actually enjoyable, even though he's a pain in the ass. And once you beat him for the first time, it is such a good feeling, and you basically feel like you just beat Dark Souls, even though he's not even the final boss. Most people agree, I think, that he's the hardest boss in the game, but besides Madeir, I would say the hardest non-DLC boss. The weapons you get from him are pretty cool. You get like this Dragon Slayer spear from the soul guy, whatever. I don't remember his fucking name, but you get a cool Dragon Slayer spear. It's pretty much like Ornstein's from Dark Souls 1. And it's a very good PvP weapon, actually. So it's a fun boss fight. He gives you a really cool, fun PvP weapon. And yeah, you know, what's there not to like about Nameless King? Besides the fact that he's a pain in the ass. This dude, the Consumed King Osiris, I think that's how you say it. Another optional boss in Dark Souls. Yes, indeed, this boy is optional. I did not know that the first time I played through the game. Once again, it's like I don't know anything. But this dude, he's basically like a senile old man. He just rambles about shit, and he wants to kill you. So, I mean, I know there's deeper lore than that to this dude. Like, it's like, I think it's like a weapon or something that he's like obsessed with. I don't remember. But this dude is pretty easy of a boss fight. Very forgettable, to be honest. I think I'm going to put him in D tier. Pontiff Sullivan. Honestly, I think Pontiff Sullivan, for most Dark Souls players, is one of the best boss battles in any of the Souls games. And that's because He's very balanced, like he's a very challenging boss fight, and one of the most satisfying things is when you're able to parry like any of his moves. So that's one of the fun things about the Pontiff Sullivan boss fight is you can parry him. So it's either you're really good at fighting him and he's an easy boss, or if you're really shitty at parrying like I am, then he's a pain in the ass and one of the hardest bosses in this game. So I'm really thinking I'm gonna have to put Pontiff Sullivan in A tier because, you know, it's just an epic boss battle, you know, like his two flaming swords and shit. That's really cool. Oh man, all these bosses are really good. Slave Knight Gale. This boss battle is fun as fuck. It's another Ringed City boss battle, and let me tell you, the way this dude flips and flops around the battlefield is very majestic. And, you know, I really think this is also another one of the better boss battles in the game. It's just really fun to fight him. You get like this huge open arena, and he's actually really difficult. It took me a long time to beat this guy by myself, and I think for that I'm going to have to put him in A tier as well. Soul of Cinder. Alright boys, the Soul of Cinder. This is another really good ass boss fight in Dark Souls 3. If you don't know this about me, guys, I fucking love Dark Souls 3. It's definitely one of my favorite Souls games, simply for the fact that it's so polished compared to all the other Souls games, in my opinion. And it's like they took everything from the previous games and just made it right. I'm going off on a tangent here, but Dark Souls 3, I think it's just the perfect Souls game, and all of the boss battles that are in A tier and B tier, I think speak for that. And including Soul of Cinder, I'm going to also have to put him in A tier. This is definitely one of the funnest boss battles in the game. He's not too difficult because he has some pretty easy moves to predict. Okay, so one of the coolest things about this boss battle is how he transforms his weapons, like from the spear to the sword, etc., etc. And he switches up his moves each time he does that, so you have to figure out how to fight him with each of these weapons in his hands. And I just think that's a really cool concept. So actually, when you get to the Soul of Cinder's second phase, it's actually a very epic moment because the soundtrack to Gwyn's boss battle, the final boss in Dark Souls 1, will actually play during this fight. And it's a pretty emotional moment for Souls players because Dark Souls 3 is supposed to be the last Souls game. And it's really cool that the final boss battle of the last Souls game has incorporated music from the final boss battle of the first Souls game. Very cool gamer moment. I think that is going to be an A tier boss for sure. So the twin princes, Lothric and Lorien, I'm pretty sure that's their names. I would definitely have to put them in like C tier. And that's pretty much because the run there is really annoying with all the enemies on the bridge. Even though you don't have to fight any of them, you can just run past them. It's still a pain in the ass. But I don't really think it was that cool of a boss battle, and I don't really have much to say about that. So we'll move on to Vort of the Boreal Valley. This boy right here, this big Chungus monster. The second boss battle in Dark Souls 3. And this wolf boy is actually a pretty fun boss battle, I think, you know. He is a good challenge, I think, for new players to the Souls games. And he just looks really badass as well. And you know, he's not too hard. Like, I think if you stay under him, he can like not hit you or something, which is a pretty good strat to use against him, especially for his second phase of his fight. And yeah, I mean, Vort, cool boss, cool beans. I don't even know if that strat I said is viable. Call me out in the comments if it's not. But yeah, I mean, very cool boss battle. I'm putting that in the big old B tier. High Lord Walnir, this battle is a bunch of bullshit. Honestly, nobody cares about it. putting it in F tier. And Yorm the Giant. Now, this boss battle actually kind of pisses me off, okay? Yorm the Giant should be a super epic boss battle, but honestly, fighting him is like fighting... Yorm the Giant can only be described as fighting a toddler who's coming at you with like a toy lightsaber or something, and then you just straight up punt him right in the face. And your shoe is being the storm ruler weapon that you can use against him that does like a shit ton of damage. So yeah, you're basically... Yorm is a toddler and you're an adult and you're kicking him square in the face. And that's why I'm gonna have to go with F tier, because honestly, a very disappointing boss battle. Thank you for watching this Dark Souls 3 tier list. I'm tired as shit. If you enjoyed it, subscribe. Thank you very much.